You've gone to so many sporting events here with KGW. Right. We had to chop it up for a minute and talk about some of those moments that you had.
A lot of great ones.
I was looking through the archives and just thinking back to some of those Cup of Joe moments, man. And you mentioned Timber Joey. What was that experience like working with him?
That was great. So in Columbus, I thought it'd be funny to get a hold of a tree cutting service while we were there. And sure enough, we found one that was cutting a tree down. So we took Timber Joey to the location of his house in Columbus and had him slice a chunk of the end of the log off, right? And the two guys working were great. They had their lines perfectly. They said, "Where are these guys from?" And the other guy says, "I think he said Oregon." And he goes, "That makes sense." And Timber Joey and I are holding up the slice afterwards. It was perfect. Our Uber driver actually helped us shoot that story.
You also got kicked out of a bar, right?
I did get kicked out of a bar, right? That was another cut. That's where the Cup of Joe series started. We were going to San Antonio to cover the Blazers. They were playing the Spurs. And this was after they had beaten the Rockets on that famous last-second shot by Dame. And that was another favorite moment. I was there in the building for that, and I happened to have my iPad out. And all you saw was the stadium just rise.
What was that like, man?
It was an amazing, I got the chills right now. It was an amazing moment to see. I interviewed Dame after that, and I showed him that. It was, I think, the day after.
Yeah.
And he looked at it and watched it 3 or 4 times.
We'll watch that again.
And it was just such an electric moment. That was great. But in San Antonio, as we were flying down there, I thought, we should try to see if we can find a bar that will adopt the Blazers for the series.
This might work.
And we walked into this place down on the Riverwalk, and the bartender was perfect. Sugar was her name, and I tried to get Sugar to help us out. She was perfect too. I mean, the way these folks would deliver the lines after I'd write these things was just perfect.
You guys, he's got to go.
You gotta go.
Everywhere we went after that, people literally in San Antonio said, "There's the guy who got kicked out of the bar," and of course that was the headline. Portland anchor gets kicked out of San Antonio bar. So the thing went viral because everyone thought I'd actually been kicked out of the bar. Right?
Yeah. The NBA draft when you covered it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if people are going to be cool with you telling this story.
Yeah.
You know, that are fans of Kevin Durant.
The Blazers had the first pick, and they had just picked Greg Oden. And we were in the first tent at Madison Square Garden waiting for Oden to come through. And he was making his way. He'd been selected. And he was making his way through ESPN and all the other reporters. And I look up, and the next thing I know, Kevin Durant sits down next to me and says, "Let's do this." And I'm like, it's a minute until 5, and I'm waiting to go live at the top of the hour with Greg Oden, and I had to tell Kevin Durant, "Listen, I wish we could chat, but I need you to leave."
You gotta go,
You gotta go.
Oh, like what?
He said, "No problem." And,
so he was cool about it.
He was great about it. Yeah, it was funny. And then literally 30 seconds later, Oden sat down and we did the interview right at the top of the 5.
Another memory that just went into my mind is that you were able to hang out with the Oregon Duck.
That was another one of my favorite stories. And that was another Cup of Joe where the premise of that was we were down in Anaheim. The Ducks were there. They were in the Sweet 16 trying to get to the Elite 8.
How's it, Joe? Good to have you here.
And the premise of that story was ESPN's Neil Everett, who's a Duck alum and lives in L.A., he invited the Duck to stay at his house anytime Oregon was playing in L.A. And the problem was this was getting out of hand, and the Duck was at his house all the time. And his wife was not happy about the whole situation, so Neil was going to have to remedy this. And that turned out to be one of my favorite stories. As it turned out, it was harder to get the Duck than it was to get Neil Everett.
Well, the Duck's a big deal, man.
The Duck's a big deal. But that's another one of my favorites. And to get these guys to play along, I was surprised, but just thrilled, because that's what makes these stories so funny.
Great to see you, Joe.
When Wayne Tinkle
Nice outfit. Did you get a free bowl of soup with that?
is willing to show up and play golf with me, and we're trying to prove that ducks and beavers can get along, and by the end of it, I've given him exploding golf balls, and he's running me over in a golf cart. Nat Borchers, you know, trying to recreate the USS Indianapolis scene on Lake Oswego when he was hurt.
I haven't even seen that one.
Yeah, we had fun with that.
What was your favorite event to cover for sports?
Oh, wow.
I mean, because when you're going to these events, these are like the highest of highs.
Yeah, not to mention the Olympics.
And welcome to Salt Lake City on day 13.
That was in 2002 in Salt Lake. That was really fun as well. I would say that was one of my favorite events, but gosh, beyond that, Orlando, it's so hard to, because it's just so, as you know, amazing to be at those events. You know, the national championship games were really big and special to be able to go to those. And the Olympics, those are probably, you know, and I'm sure I'm forgetting, but like you said, there have been so many amazing moments over the last 20 years where I've been lucky enough to really have a front row seat to some amazing history.
When this airs, this will probably be the last segment that we see you on KGW, now that I think about it. It's been a blast. The 1 year I got to work with you here and learned a lot from you. And the way that you take care of business, you're a leader in this newsroom.
Well,
you're going to kill it out there at WGN. We are so happy for you, man.
Big League Baseball, 2 teams. NBA, NHL.
I met at that.
It's going to be an interesting place. It's one of the the greatest cities in the world, and I'm honored to be at a station that I grew up watching, an iconic station. You say WGN, everyone remembers and watched it as a kid. So I'm looking forward to it.
Joe Donlon, folks.
Thanks, Phil.